and my socks, giving me more cushion. If that didn't help, my doctor, Lynn, I think I gotta come in. Okay, why? My feet are going numb. Interesting. Okay. Just do a little blood work. Just make sure that's okay. Make sure there's no blood work wrong. That still doesn't help it. Lynn, guess what? There's still none. Yeah. All right, I'm going to refer you to Dr. Neurologist.
Am I going to die?
No, it could be something as simple as your shoes.
This has been happening for a long time, and I wear like running shoes that are...
Now, have you always bought like the same kind of running shoe? You've tried different types? Try another type. Add a thicker sock. Drink more water.
I drink a ton of water.
It's okay. Sometimes you need more if you're a runner. You need more. That's where I would start. See what happens. And then if everything is just normal, if it's something that's just the way it is, okay, all you've done is waste a doctor's visit. That's it.
Okay.
Because, sometimes, like, I had to have knee surgery, and, I had torn a meniscus, got it fixed, all that sort of stuff, but I still have this one place of constant pain. I've had the stem cell injections, I've done everything, all right? It's just the way it's going to be. I just accept it. So, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to check into it. So, when we begin to look at these two working together, the goal, all right, one of the things I mentioned, sympathetic, now, note, it inhibits digestion and urinary function. That means it's also affecting my waste, okay, defecation. When the body stays under the stressing factors that would keep it in the sympathetic tone, that can become a long-term problem and create issues for people. So that's why the parasympathetic division works to try to bring sympathetic back into norm, because it wants to make sure, first of all, especially urinary function, get rid of waste, okay, and then digestion, so that it can work its way through and create the defecation to get rid of waste, all right? The reason I mention this is because people who stay under a lot of stress, okay, usually end up with, maybe they have the issue of constipation, that sort of thing. So you want the systems working together to create normal background rates, meaning a normal rate of your heartbeat, a normal rate of digestion, a normal rate of blood flow, a normal rate of blood pressure. Now, here's where it gets interesting. It has components, parts, in both the central, brain spinal cord, and peripheral nervous systems, going back to how we are dependent on that route that will be given to us by way of a spinal nerve. Okay? We have some control nuclei. Did we talk about what nuclei meant now for the brain and spinal cord and everything? A mass of, it's like an area of, it's really dense with nerve cell bodies. Okay? So, in my hypothalamus. I love the hypothalamus. I love it. Did I point out the W in the brains? See, I can't remember what I'm teaching 141, 142. So if I repeat myself, y'all just kind of deal with me. And do you guys remember how they tried to show all those nuclei in the picture? Red, green, yellow, blue. Y'all remember that from the picture?
Mm-hmm.
And then how we have the pituitary gland. Do you happen to remember what term I related this area of the brain to be?
Yeah, something like your uterus when you have a baby.
Do y'all remember me using the term primitive? Did I use that term?
You did. You used to know that.
Because this is part, you remember, part of my diencephalon. That is the only part of the brain left over from egg meeting sperm, one cell becoming two, two becoming four, and the development of the layers. It's the only one that did not change. Completely, utterly, totally primitive. Primitive.
Is it embryonic tissue?
It is embryonic tissue. Its concern: keep species alive and let it reproduce. What did I say? The autonomic system does.
Keeps you alive and helps you reproduce.
What are some primitive functions of our body?
Eat.
Eat. Eat meat. What else?
Sleep.
Sleep. Woo! Love my sleep.
Sex.
I'm gonna pull reproduce. Okay.
Drink. Breathe.
Where am I going with this?
The basic functions keep you alive.
Keeping me alive.
So the hypothalamus is like the control center for the autonomic system. Like the thalamus is the control system for like your central nervous, you know.
Okay, thalamus, relay station. Send an impulse, send a stimulus to the area of the brain where it needs to go. My hypothalamus, which we're going to get to, okay? Y'all just hold on, I know you're so excited. But note, it has that connection to the pituitary gland. So now it's going to be up to information making its way to either the anterior or the posterior, which we'll learn about, okay, so that they can make their products, release them, and make them go do something in the body. Because I've said two systems control the body: nervous, endocrine. That's my endocrine. So now we have some control nuclei and then other brain stem regions. What part is my brain stem?
Central nervous.
Part of my central, but what part of the brain structure? The anatomy. On that underside,
Hind.
and do you remember the pons,
Medulla.
the medulla, and midbrain? Y'all remember those? Okay. Areas we don't control. They are going to be responsible, okay, for doing stuff like monitoring my respiration, monitoring my heart rate, monitoring my pH, monitoring the chemical levels in my blood, and hopefully keep it in norm. So now I'm bringing in my second system that helps control the body. So, my chain ganglia. I'm going to need to use on that spinal cord and the exits of my spinal nerves, as well as my cranial nerves. I'm going to need to use those areas to create a route to my chain. So now, my autonomic nervous system has let me take about fight or flight for the parasympathetic, sympathetic. I now have seen that I'm going to have a connection to my hypothalamus, which is the second control of my body, and then I'm going to need something from the somatic to help me get my information out. Is anybody making a connection? Any connection whatsoever occurred? Oh, and I got my central nervous system involved. What have I just told you about control of the body? Or what have I just demonstrated controls the whole body?
Endocrine.
I've shown that we have proved the two systems controlling my body, nervous, endocrine. And I have hopefully just made the connection for you.
Can you say that again?
We have just proved
No, I mean, I heard that part, but I'm saying, I just want you to say that connection one more time.
the connection that we just made. I've kept mentioning we have two systems that control the body, the nervous, the endocrine. And I have now shown the connection between it all. Yes, no, maybe. You're going to think about it. We're going to, I want everybody now to think about as they get up to go take a break. I want y'all thinking about how when you got up, you didn't continue going forward and just kerplunk right on the floor. And then when you come back, how you're going to sit down and you're going to take note. I want y'all to take note as you get up and move around, your heart rate and your respiration rate. And then when you come back to sit down, I want you to think about it again. Y'all will never think about your bodies the same, right?